Hey folks, this is Jim, 580 Realty, and I'm going to show you a little bit about this 5 acres on Rice Road. As I'm looking to the east right now, and you can see the white gate right there. There's a mail van just pulled up. That is the access point. There's a 20-foot easement that comes directly to the west, and that's going to bring you right up here to in between these two flags here. And that's your legal easement into the property. This fence was built and it wasn't necessarily taken into account the easement, which is new, because the 5 acres that's now behind me was connected to the 5 acres that's in front of me, which is what's for sale. So you have this access point here. This fence will have to be moved at some point, but there is a gate over here that you can get in and out at this point, but with the change of everything, that fence will have to be updated again at some point. And then you're standing here on the corner of the property. This is the southeast corner, and this fence, which has been there a while, was built a few feet off of the property line. It's to your advantage, but at some point, if the property owner next door decided to move that fence, he can move it over about 7 or 8 feet. So right now we're looking to the west as we walk into the acreage. It's a pretty basic, pretty flat. There's a little bit, kind of a gentle slope to it. But as you go up this south side right here, several cedar trees in the fence line. And that pipe fence is still pretty solid. It looks kind of ugly, kind of rusted, needs some paint. Again, that's the neighbor's fence, which is 100% on their property, but there's one gate or opening there that's been fixed up with some barbed wire. And then those cedar trees in the far distance are actually past the property line. We'll go over that direction in a second, but we're walking to the north now, and this pipe fence here, again with some cedar trees in the fence. It's relatively square. Got this pond here. Take a look at that. Fence looks pretty good all the way around, with the exception of that south side. It's got a little bit of issue there. Property owner hasn't fished this pond in a long time. Didn't really know if there's much fish in it or not. But a new survey will give the exact legal description, and again we can see the flags on the corners. I know it's probably hard to tell on this video, but let's go ahead and walk the rest of this fence line under the dam here. Let's see what we find. There's a golf ball. I used to hit another golf ball into the field in front of my house. Problem is there was a road, but it really wasn't a problem because I couldn't hit the ball that far, so it didn't really matter. We've just come off of about a 3 or 4 day winter weather event with, I don't know, half an inch or so of ice, freezing rain, sleet, and it doesn't seem to be soggy, so water's draining off pretty good. And as a matter of fact, draining off to the east toward the 5 acres in front of this. So yeah, I don't really see any or feel any wet spots. So this is the northeast corner. Good solid fence all the way down. And then you've got this, it's not a barbed wire fence, except for the top wire, maybe the bottom wire. No, just the top wire. And this goes all the way down, good solid fence. It appears that the neighbor has cows out here pretty regularly. Not any out here right now. I do know that on some of the satellite images of this, you can see hay bales in these neighboring properties. So there are some cows a couple of sections over. So I don't know if you could potentially connect with neighboring property owners to, you know, let them use this for grazing or cut hay. It's not that much land for that, but if they're right next door using it, put in a little gate and you're good to go. So now we're coming up on the northwest corner of the property. Then we'll turn back and give you a view of kind of the whole thing from the top. This is the highest elevation side. Everything kind of flows downhill from here. Looks like there's, you know, something been driving around out here a little bit, so it tells me that, again, water flows pretty good off of this piece of property. All right, here we are, northwest corner. We're looking back to the south, panning over here toward the east. All right, let's go this fence line, heading back south. Again, looks like pretty solid fence for the most part. There is no public water in this area, so you would need to drill a well to find water for your, you know, residents or whatever you're putting out here. The rural electric company has service at the road, and the road it's about 450 feet, something like that, 450 feet to the east. Not sure what this is here for, but a bunch of bricks. And continuing on here south to the southwest corner. So the location of this is great for just proximity to North Texas. It's about 3.5 miles to the Red River on Highway 69, 75. If you go west out of here, you got the Denison Dam, and only about 4 or 5 miles, Lake Texoma. And north is, 10, 12 miles or so is the Choctaw Casino, Choctaw Nation headquarters. All right, so this panel's here. We already have a place for cows to come in and graze. But again, this shows this is the corner of the property. This fence is in the wrong spot, so you've got this extra, 7, 8 feet, 10 feet maybe, that is technically the neighbor's property, but their fence is, gives you an extra few feet here for whatever you want to use that for. Pretty much nothing, because it's their land, but you have to mow it. So if you're going to mow this or graze it or whatever. So anyway, we're looking back to the east, panning back over here toward the north. Plenty of spots here. You could drop a house or a couple of houses if you want, like a little family compound out here. There's not any restrictions on the land, so you can put mobile homes in here. Great place for a barn dominium. Maybe if you wanted to drop in a few little cabins and make yourself a little resort for, you know, Airbnb style or something along those lines. Anyway, thanks for hanging with me for 10 minutes as we're walking back to the east. You see this same fence here, so two sides of the property with this pipe fence. That I would say is 80% solid. There's a few places where it needs some repair work, but again, this fence belongs to the neighbor and is 100% on their property. The pipe fence on the east boundary would be shared with the property owner on the east, and then the other two fences are not the pipe fence but the barbed wire style. They have that mesh panel on it, so it could be for sheep or goats, but it doesn't go all the way to the floor, all the way to the ground, so it's probably about 12 inches or so that's open there, so not great for that probably. Anyway, this is it. 5 acres, Rice Road, Colbert, Oklahoma. Don't miss your opportunity to get this. There's not a whole lot of little spots like this left close to the highway without any restrictions. So give me a call if you want to take a look at it beyond what you've already seen. Thanks.